Good afternoon, I'm Chief Meteorologist Sabrina. We're not done with the rain just quite yet. Continuing to watch the activity, now moving out to the north and west. Coming up, we'll track those showers and take a look at your rain forecast. We'll be right back. A little bit longer for it to decide to leave. Right now, when you take a look at the radar, most of the action, snowfall coming on down, although I think the snowfall probably capped at some of our tallest mountains, maybe up to Mount Laguna. Also continuing out toward the deserts, Borrego, now seeing some of the light shower moving throughout your region for you. A broad look, though, shows you what's continuing to move out over toward Mexico. Look at this. More rain, and all of it is going to continue to move a little bit further inland for the rest of this evening into early tomorrow morning. So the disturbance that's brought a lot of the precipitation is hanging just off our coastline. We're waiting for it to move to the south. It's going to travel through Baja later on tonight, and we'll continue to be dealing with that wraparound moisture at least through the morning hours. Tomorrow we'll get a break from the rain at least after the morning. Some sunshine coming on out, and then guess what happens by Sunday? We have another low pressure system. It's going to skirt its way to the north, not bringing us rain, but it is going to increase our cloud coverage, keeping temperatures well below normal for us. Your hour-by-hour rain cloud forecast will show you by about 6 o'clock tonight. It looks like the heaviest action found out over toward Julian and now making its way throughout Valley Center into Escondido, Fallbrook, and heading out toward Oceanside and Carlsbad. By 8:30, most of the rain staying out toward North County. Remember, this is the action that we're seeing in Mexico that's slowly going to begin to drift in. By 11 p.m., a 20% chance of precipitation from Pine Valley down to Jamul, and maybe just pockets out over toward Fallbrook. Tomorrow morning, yet again, just looking at a 20% chance. That's an isolated shower. It's not too much for us, and most of it hanging down throughout the southern half of the county. We'll see the sunshine coming on out by Saturday afternoon. Temperatures close to seasonal, and then here we go Sunday. The clouds move back in, cooler air swings on through as well, and we'll have to wait a little bit longer until we end up seeing those temperatures starting to warm up with more sunshine, although I do think that is forecast to happen by next work week. More details on that coming up in your 7 days. In fact, in the last 72 hours, Palomar has received over 2 inches of rain. Oceanside, over an inch. Valley Center, almost an inch and a quarter. The same for Poway. Chula Vista, over an inch. Mission Beach, you only got around 3/10 of an inch of rain, but more rain, in fact, is on the way. When you look at the storm system, this is from the last 6 hours. So notice how the rainfall has generally moved to the north, and now it's taking more of a northeasterly turn. That's an indication that our low pressure system is beginning to swing on through to our south, and it's going to send those showers now back to the coast. So we are not in the clear by any means for tonight, even through early tomorrow morning. So rainfall totals continue to inch their way up for the rest of the afternoon, most likely out over toward downtown, picking up another 1/4 of an inch through Saturday morning. The same scenario out toward Del Mar, maybe only about 1800s out toward El Cajon. Coming up, we'll take a look at your 7-day forecast, which shows you when there will finally be a little bit more sunshine and warmer air. Guys, action out over toward East County, but it's not going to stay there. All of the rainfall is continuing to pull out over toward the northwest. Closer look, now the showers have moved through Ramona, and you can see when we put that map on here, it looks like in around 10 minutes moving throughout San Pasqual, and also further to our south, another area of rain now moving out through about Doghouse Junction. Should be in La Presa in around 20 minutes, and out over toward Lemon Grove most likely in around 30 minutes. So the rain continuing to move on in. It will stay doing that through tomorrow morning, although very light rainfall totals, not anticipating any thunderstorms or heavy downpours with what we're dealing with, at least for the rest of this afternoon and into early tomorrow. Broad look what's happening across the country, continuing to watch for a little bit of rainfall coming down throughout Kentucky and pulling into the New England and the Northeast. Also look at that shading in pink. There is ice starting to accumulate. The area shaded in this darker purple is where there's an ice storm warning up, and that's for portions of, you can see Missouri as well as out into Oklahoma. With that, they could see around 1/10 of an inch of ice accumulating on the roads, and that's going to last until Sunday at around noon. That lighter shading in purple, where they actually have the freezing rain advisory continuing to push out over to the northeast, where they could see some of the rain sort of freeze at least along the roadways. For us, we don't have temperatures as cold, but we are still dealing with precipitation until around tomorrow morning. So by Saturday, a 20% chance of morning rain, 64 degrees, 70s, and even you fall into the 60s on Thursday with another rain chance. Let's look at your 7-day forecast. Jason, over to you.
Up for the next guy.
There's going to be a bigger line. Imagine being behind him.
It wasn't the employee's fault, you know?
Right.
Good evening, I'm Chief Meteorologist Sabrina. Continuing to watch the showers tonight, shifting direction, now heading straight to the west. We'll take a look at the radar coming up on the flip side of the break. See you then. Now, 2 inches above the norm. Today alone, or really from about the last 3 days, let's go ahead and say, rainfall totals in Sabrina, reports of snow into Mount Laguna at about 2 inches there as well. The radar, though, continues to be lit up. You can see a lot of that shower activity right now hanging in right along the coastline, primarily into North County. So our first stop, watching this one cell continuing to push out over toward the west. You can see from San Marcos all the way to, looks like Leucadia, maybe the La Costa region. It does look like it's going to continue to really, I'd say, rain most likely for about the next 15 minutes. And to the north as well, right to the north of Oceanside, dealing with some of the rain. But look at this, Fallbrook. You're now in the clear, at least temporarily, because while that one little batch of moisture begins to move, look what's still waiting for us in Mexico as we continue to deal with that wraparound moisture, not only for the rest of this evening, but also for tomorrow morning. So your rain forecast, starting us off at around, say, midnight tonight, we'll continue to watch the rain now exiting our area and then re-emerging once we get over to the overnight hours into early tomorrow morning, about a 20% chance. Coming up, we'll have more details on what to expect for the weekend, guys. Tomorrow we actually have 64 degrees once we get through some of the morning rainfall, inland areas 65, a little bit more sunshine. Coming up, we'll talk about your Carlsbad Marathon forecast as well as what to anticipate for the entire weekend. We'll be right back. One day of the weekend. Right now we're looking at around 52 degrees into Del Mar and Ramona. You're at 49. Lakeside, you're up to 50. When you look at the radar, that activity we were noticing at the beginning of the show has now generally pushed offshore. But also that rain that was into Mexico is now making its way through our county, close out over toward the desert communities. You can see Pine Valley, you'll be first to be hit by it, most likely in about the next 30 minutes, but keeping a 20% chance of rain through, I'd say, tomorrow morning at about 8 a.m. All of it in association with this disturbance that we've seen sagging to the south. Now we're waiting for it to cross over Baja, and as it does so, we will be on the backhand of that. Still picking up some moisture, but it's not going to be as heavy, so not looking at picking up much, maybe just a few hundredths of an inch through the morning hours. But the big thing it will do, take out all of the clouds along with it, and we'll start to see some more sunshine. And as a result, Saturday's temperatures will be delightful, although Sunday we're going to see more clouds roll on through and cool things off for us yet again. So here we go, starting things off at about 8 a.m. Notice your temperatures are into the 50s for the coast. Usually we wake up into the 40s, so that's going to be nice. By the afternoon, look at inland areas. Only reached 59 degrees today. They're already climbing up to 65 degrees into Lakeside by tomorrow at 1 o'clock. The upper 60s into Mira Mesa. The coastline only reached 60 and already jumping up to 64 in Del Mar. So everyone will see about a 5-degree swing from where we were today, although still just a little bit below normal for us. We'll increase the cloud coverage though on into Sunday, and as a result, temperatures, they begin to drop yet again. So no longer upper 60s. Instead, we only have the 50s in Escondido, about 59 degrees. Oceanside going for the lower 60s instead of the mid 60s. The same scenario holds true out over toward downtown. So here's the big question. Carlsbad Marathon. What's it going to be like for you? I think kind of delightful for runners because the clouds are going to make it not too hot. Right now, I don't think we're going to see much rainfall from it. So just looking at 54 degrees at 6 a.m. and if you end up at around noon, 61, not too bad. Maybe a few peaks of sunshine, but overall calling for a mostly cloudy day. 70 forecast, those temperatures start to warm up tomorrow.